What's up YouTube, Jay Travellini here, and today I'm going to show you how much revenue slash semi-profit I make on my 2.5 gigahash Ethereum mining farm. Now I say semi-profit because some of the power consumption that I have factored into it is also coming from rigs that are not mining Ethereum, but I'm just going to focus on all my rigs on HiveOS that are mining Ethereum currently. So let's go inside the computer. I'll show you guys the rigs, show you guys the overclocks that I'm using, and you'll see exactly what cards I'm using, how many rigs, and the amount of cards. So let's go ahead and check it out. So we're inside the farm here, and you can see I do have my RX 580 Red Devil rig offline, and now that is offline because I sold that rig. But I still plan to recycle that motherboard, power supply, and SSD later on, so I'll just rename the rig once I get that back online. I do have some 6600 XTs I've been picking up slowly. I have about 8 of them in hand. Now, I planned to do a 12 GPU rig of them, but looking at my power banks, I'm at 11 amps, 11 amps, 11 amps, and 6 amps. And I still have a 3060 Ti and a 3070 Ti and a 3090 on the way to power on. So once I get that all powered on and get this HGPU rig going, I'm going to see where the power sits in my basement and see if I can even power more GPUs. I'm thinking I'm going to be very close to the edge there, running on the 80% rule, that I may not be able to, but we'll see when the time comes. But let's go down here. My 20 series rig. So this is all GPUs pretty much I picked up from EVGA directly. That is inside my grow tent at the top shelf. Now the temperatures don't seem too bad, but here are my overclocks on them all. Now I have seen some 2080s and 2080 Supers run a little bit less power, but I couldn't seem to tweak them down that low, unfortunately, without sacrificing a lot of mega hash. My big shining star here is my 2060 Super at 104 watts, ripping 43 mega hash. But you know, this rig, it took me a while to put together. Months of buying cards. The Supers all came from B stock, and the two 2080s came brand new from EVGA. So it took me a while to source them cards and get lucky enough on B stock to get them. But you can see this one's a real good one. This one's actually better than my 2060 Super. One doing 42.5 megahash at 77 watts reported in the software. So let's move on to the next rig. Now this rig I've had for a while, and this one's actually dual mining TON and Ethereum. Now these wattages were usually around 80 to 90 watts. Until I started dual mining, it added about 10 more watts per GPU. So it's set around 89 to 90 watts per card before. And I did lose 1 mega hash here on this card, dual mining, but the rest stayed pretty similar. So this one's doing 246 mega hash on the entire rig. And here's my overclocks here, my core clocks, my millivolts, and my memory. Now you'll notice this one down a lot lower, and that's why I lost a little bit here too. Now this one, I did have issues with crashing, and the same with this one. My GPU 2 and GPU 5 had issues with crashing, but have since been pretty stable, and I did have to add a little bit more millivolts to the core and the memory a little, but that's what we do to keep it stable. Now let's go on to my 5700 XT rig. Now this one's doing 270 mega hash, almost 271. Now if you guys remember, this was probably last year. I did buy this rig used, and it was pretty well not tuned well. I bought it with my 580 rig together. This rig is one of the ones I plan on taking offline and possibly selling the GPUs once I can source out more. But for the time being, I leave it mining. Now, this is also dual mining Ethereum and TON. So these temperatures hovered around 120 watts when I wasn't dual mining, but the mega hash was pretty much on par with what it was now, 54 to 55 mega hash per GPU. But this is a pretty killer rig, all Red Devil 5700 XTs. I really do like this rig. I'd say about once a week I get a miner reboot, so I don't worry about it too much. And the temperatures are starting to creep up a little bit. It did warm up today, and the temperatures in my basement are getting a little hotter. And this rig actually does not have fans on it, so it came this way and I just left it. I do have a box fan. I may need to turn that on after I record this. So my 6600 and 6600 XT rig. Now this one I had dual mining Ethereum and TON, and I stopped it because I kept crashing the rig, and I didn't want to push my core too much on it because my wattage is all like below 50, except for this one, it's at 51. When I was dual mining, these were pushing 80 watts, and at that point, I didn't feel like it was worth dual mining on this rig. Some may argue it differently, but I just don't think it was worth it in my opinion. Now this is my newest rig build, almost other than my Founders Edition rig, which we'll go to next. But you know, this was what sparked my interest to build a 12 by 6600 XT rig. So maybe I do still do it and I unload 4 of these 6600s. I don't know. Time will tell when I start building. But that's this rig. I mean, it looks pretty cool on the shelf. And this one, these run pretty cool. You can see the temperatures. So this one only has some cheap RGB up here fans on it that I picked up for like, I think it was like $36 a 6-pack on Amazon. So here's my Founders Edition rig. Now this one I haven't done a video on yet, but it's in this one because it is currently running. I just put this rig together quickly just to try and get it up and running, just to get it mining, because I've been pretty pressed for time with work and some work I'm doing around my house. But you can see my 3070s all doing 62 mega hash, 3060 Ti doing 61, and my 3070 Ti we will disregard because that is actually mining flux. You can see up here it's dual flight sheeted, so my 3070 Ti is actually mining flux. But you can see the wattage on these cards, not too bad. My 3060 Ti up a little bit, but none of them are hitting my power limit. So that makes me think that it's pretty well fine-tuned where it is. I'm going to leave this one alone. And I've probably had this one running for, let's see now, 3 days. So it's been pretty stable. I haven't had any crashes with it. So I'm going to leave this one be. Now my For the Win rig. This is all EVGA For the Win cards. And it's dual flight sheeted. Now I have 4 mining Ethereum. And then I have 5 mining Ravencoin. And this is solo mining, which is not going all that well. I have, in the last 30 days, got 1 block, and it was after the halving, so not too great. But let's go through the Ethereum cards. My 3080 doing 100 mega hash at 228 watts. Now, if I did a core lock, I was actually losing mega hash. I would save a little bit on power, but I wanted to just keep it around 100 mega hash, so I just did a negative 200 offset and 2450 on the memory. Now, these do have issues, the 80s and 90s, people have a lot of issues with memory temperatures, and I can't see that inside Hive OS right now, so I don't try to push them too hard. And I also have 3000 RPM, 154 CFM fans on this rig. Now my 3090 I'm pretty happy with. 123.6 mega hash at 285 watts, so I'm below 300 watts and getting almost 124 mega hash, so I'm pretty happy with that. Then my two 3070s, a little bit lower in the memory than my Founders Edition ones, and doing just under 62 mega hash. One's at 122 watts and one's at 112. Now one of these was bought brand new EVGA, and one was through Step Up, and not Step Up, through B Stock, so I don't know which one was from B Stock offhand. My Octominer rig. Now, if you guys remember this rig, this is the one that I did the custom frame to get the Octominer board mounted onto. Now, this one, I can get slightly anywhere between 1 to 2 more mega hash per card, but it's dual mining Ethereum and TON at 240 mega hash. And the power limit or power consumption would be slightly lower if I was not dual mining. So I'd probably save anywhere between 5 to 10 watts per GPU if I took the dual mining off. But at this point, I felt like it was worth just leaving it dual mining. Now my 20 series cards does do a lot better than my 16 series cards that are on here. But mining Ethereum, they're all pretty much on par with each other. And then this one Hynix, I had to do, I struggled with it, and then a friend of mine, Red Crypto Mine, said, put negative 1004 memory on it, and it just started working. So I don't know what's up with the Hynix memory on this, but it works, and it was doing 31 to 32 mega hash before dual mining. But let's move on to the next. So the last one, Tony Tough Nuts. Now this one is an all 30 series GPU rig. This was my first 30 series GPU rig. This one is the one that was heating up in my grow tent. Now it has 4 3070s, a 3060 Ti, and a 3080 on it. Now this 3060 Ti is the Asus Tough one. This was my first 30 series GPU that I got pretty much back at launch. It was only a couple weeks after launch when I got it. So obviously these were all non-LHR cards. LHR cards I don't mine Ethereum with. I get crap about it, but I just don't feel like using those unlocked miners to mine it when I can just set it to Flux or Ravencoin, because I do want to diversify my portfolio, so I do mine other coins with them, and it works. They work perfectly on there. Now this rig does 409 mega hash a second. When it gets a little bit cooler and I can get the temps down, I could probably push this a little harder than I do right now, especially the 3070s and stuff. I mean, it's been running for 4 days, so I don't even pay attention to invalid shares. As long as my efficiency up here doesn't fall below 99%, if it goes down into 98%, then I'm looking at the cards and which one could be my problem one, because at that point then I might have an issue. I might be a little too aggressive on my overclocks. But here are all of my settings for the overclocks. One day I do plan on sitting down and making an Excel file of all my rigs and all the overclocks on it and the hash rates that they're achieving, just to make it easier for you guys to just download and tune up. But those are all my rigs mining Ethereum. So that brings me to a total of 2.521 gigahash a second. So that is 2,521 mega hash. Now I'm using my total wattage here. Now this is why I said earlier that it's kind of a profit of it, because I'm mining Flux and I'm also mining Ravencoin, and those are power hungry algorithms. So I could probably even be safe and say 1,000 watts is probably close to what those cards are using altogether, maybe even more. But let's head over to what to mine and let's see what we're achieving here. So 2521, and I'm going to use the whole 8100 watts just because I do have to pay that electric anyway, and solo mining Ravencoin hasn't done anything for me. 13 cents per kilowatt hour is roughly what I pay right now. So we'll calculate this out. Now, this is what I will be earning a day just in Ethereum, according to what to mine, and it's trading at 31.27 and 27 cents as of the 16th of February. Now, $121 a day in revenue of Ethereum. Now, this is an estimate. It should be fairly close to this, but it is an estimate. I'm more worried about how many coins I'm earning because I'm trying to hold them. But after power, it's saying I profit $96.10 a day. Now, you also have to remember that I also mine Flux, and I'm on a pool for that, so I am getting that and the parallel assets along with that. So my profitability is higher than this. My test bench isn't factored into this because that's on Windows, but that's on Flux also. And Ravencoin, if I were to solve a block, that's not factored into this. But just Ethereum at 2.5 gigahash, this is what you'd roughly be looking to make per day. If we take, like, let's say 1100, let's just go to 7,000 watts of power, which would be more accurately, I'm looking at $99, so roughly $100 a day profit on my 2.5 gigahash farm. But you know, right now that's my farm and what's running. Thanks for checking this video. I know I'd like to hear what you guys are running, how many gigahash or megahash you're running, what your profitability is looking like, also what pools you're mining on. Right now, a lot of mine's on Hive on. I do think I may switch that over to Ethermine and go all Ethermine from now on and just pay the Hive fee, but I'm not sure. But you know, thanks for checking this video out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.